And we're back in part 2. So yeah, like I was telling you in the last one, lots of cruelty, even with Lenin. I suggest that you pick this book up sometime. And also, really good people to talk to are some of the elder people, or older people I guess, in Russia. Now some of them are very proud of Stalin, but of course, Stalin and many communists also brought around a great deal of nationalism, and lots of national pride. Same thing was for the Nazis. Lots of people were proud even after what Hitler did. Some of them didn't even know about the Holocaust until a few years later, and then when that happened, then they started feeling a little more guilt. This, however, is something that hasn't had as much light shone on it as the Holocaust, but it really should. I'm going to name you a couple other communists that have done stuff like that, or communist events. There was Pol Pot from Vietnam, who had the genocide in Cambodia. Yes, he was a communist too. Somebody tried to say he wasn't, but yes, he was. He was officially a communist. He said that, and because he said it, that made it so. And a lot of their ideals and stuff are communist ideals. That is exactly how they work. Also, there was the Tiananmen Square incident, and that really makes me say that Mao Zedong, is just as guilty for any murders China has committed, because he brought around communism. There were also, like I said, Cuba. Cuba's had a number of incidents like that too. People do disappear. It's true. People are actually illegally immigrating to the United States because of what's going on in Cuba. So try and give me a reason for that. Huh? I mean, yeah, you can't deny what the communists have done. It is true. It has been proven. There are all these facts. Maybe it wasn't 114 million exactly that got killed. I don't know. That was how many was estimated. So if you want to do the research, you go ahead and do that, find out. Just remember, there's always going to be biases. I just chose this one because it's A, very possible, and B, it has happened. There have been deaths. 114 million isn't impossible. Now then, to continue on, another major thing about communism, specifically in the USSR, it did not end with Stalin at all. In fact, things got worse after Stalin. They discovered the atomic bomb, and if you go back into old National Geographic books during like the 90s or so, after the Soviet Union broke up, you will find some information on Kazakhstan, Ukraine, and all these other nations. They nuked parts of these nations, and people still have deformities, and they're sick all the time. They have radiation poisoning. There's all these things that have happened because of the Soviets in these places. And it doesn't end there. The people they created mining tunnels with nuclear weapons. Almost every river in the ex-Soviet Russia was poisoned at the time I read this magazine. And that was about 1994, maybe 1993. If it was poisoned then, I don't think it's gone totally away yet. So that's what they did. And yet they claim to be doing things in the best interest of the people. The ex-USSR is one of the most highly polluted nations in the world, particularly in the first world, if you want to say. Horrible. And of course, what happens, this kind of seems a bit silly that people would do this. People are always complaining about, the poverty rates in North America and stuff like that. You know what? Yeah, we have poverty and stuff like that. There's poverty everywhere. But what the communists did was they made poverty more widespread. Instead of dividing the money amongst the people, they took it all away and gave it to the government. An even smaller group than what people say is in capitalism. There are so many businesses in capitalism. Like, has anybody here been to the United States? Anybody watching this video, have you been to the US? Do you know how high the rate of wealth is there? How many middle class and well, not middle class. Do you know how many middle income and high income families there are there? The average American spends $300 a week on groceries. That's a lot. My family spends that much in a month. We live comfortably off of it, I must say. But that's like insane that they can spend that much money. And yeah, they're over-consuming, and that's not good either. But the thing is that they can. The fact that they can says that capitalism hasn't failed over there. Capitalism has flourished. But it's flourished even more in countries like Korea and Japan. And now that I mention this, I'm going off on a bit of a tangent and stuff. There was a communist I was fighting against. You know, some communist people I'm okay with. Some of you watching this video, you're fine, you're nice people, I'm sure. We all have differing opinions. But there's one communist I wanted to point out because he was A, he was rude, and B, he was extremely stupid. Union Jack got into a debate with him. His name is Police Story. He's on YouTube as well. People, I don't even know what to say. The stupidity is off the charts. He tried telling Union Jack that the Tiananmen Square incident was an anti-capitalism demonstration. Ladies and gentlemen, it was a pro-democracy demonstration. They were trying to force the communist government to allow democracy. And this idiot is trying to tell Union Jack that it was an anti-capitalist one because one of the members of the parliament was liberal. They were supporting, if anything, a member of the parliament that was liberal who had died. That is what it was. I read this, ladies and gentlemen. I did the research on this. We both did. We know what went on. And I'm not trying to point any fingers at communism in particular here. I just wanted to talk about, you guys really need to get your stories straight with some stuff. Anyways, I just needed to get that out because this person really bugged us. It was, no. And plus he went and blocked the Union Jack channel from talking to him after we pretty much we should have destroyed everything he believed in with what we said. But he's just so far gone. Anyways, but like I was saying, yes, there are economic problems with communism, problems with like human treatment and stuff like that and all these things. They have not, in any communist country, treated the working class well. If anything, they just made a bunch more people poor and the government more rich. So, I don't know, what else can I say about this? I mean, I pretty much said it all, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I guess the best thing to put it I mean, if you have any more questions or comments on communism, I will gladly answer them. If you send me enough, maybe I'll make another video on this. I don't know. For now, there really isn't much to say. I pretty much said it all right there. Like, they have human rights abuse, economic problems. Yeah, I'm kind of repeating now, trying to take up some time. But there must have been something else I could have said. Yeah. Oh, well, I guess the best thing I can say is do some research, you communist supporters. Research what you're looking into, and stop it with this single-mindedness. Stop it with your closed-minded ideology. The whole reason I'm making videos like this is because I opened my mind up. The reason I don't just support capitalism just because I do. I support it because I looked at it logically. And I thought about it, and it turned out to be pretty logical. In fact, it's the best economic system there is. Well, regulated capitalism, which is capitalism with rules to restrict things, make things, protect human rights, basically, I suppose, so that people don't charge lower or give lower than minimum wage, stuff like that. But, yeah, go into this with an open mind. Do the research. Don't think, yeah, I'm trying to prove communism right. Because when you do that, you're not learning. So anyways, yeah, that kind of concludes the video. Sorry I kind of repeated too much, but if you do have any more questions, just ask, and maybe I'll make another video.